what's up everyone? My name is Frankie W and welcome back to my life. I just got home. It's 2:43. I look exhausted because I slightly am, but basically I did some socializing earlier today with Girl Wonder. We went to Dylan's Candies and we had a little Valentine's Day moment. Went to Barnes & Noble's and I got 2 books. I got Get a Life, Chloe Brown, which is a book that I've heard about and I've wanted to read for so long. There are 3 in the in the Brown Sister trilogy, I believe. I think it's Get a Life, Chloe Brown, Act Your Age, Eve Brown, and then there's like one more. This is a book I really wanted for a while, and then while I was looking around I also saw this one that says Fake It Till You Bake It, and it just had a cute cover and it's pink. I have so many pink books. I have no idea where they come from, but I thought Black History Month, Valentine's Day just happened, Black love, all of that, so that's why I bought those 2 books. That was at the Grove. Olivia just dropped me off home, so as I said, it is 2:45, and I think this is the perfect time to start my 24-hour reading challenge or readathon, whatever you want to call it. With tomorrow being President's Day, I don't have work, so I decided today would be the perfect time to start this 24-hour marathon. I have my iPad out to do the timer. We're gonna start it in a second. Goals of this 24-hour reading challenge: I want to read at least 3 books, finish 3 books, read a manga, listen to an audiobook, and while I'm listening to an audiobook, I actually want to build. I got this Lego set from work. And so I want to build this today as well. So I thought that would be something fun to do today. I also have a woo bowl that I haven't built yet. So I thought while I was listening to the audiobook, I could do those 2 things. I'm thinking about playing the audiobook on my TV. So the first thing I'm actually going to start with is going to be Down the Drain by Julia Fox. I'm currently on chapter 5, Aftershocks, and her life is so interesting and she just got out of a pretty bad situation, so we're kind of like going through that with her. So I think I'm gonna start playing this audiobook, make myself some late lunch, and we'll go from there.
I'm starting to get repulsed by him as he wipes his red nails on his hand.
I can't deny the magic chemistry. My head's a snow, but art is telling me that we should give it a shot. Carefully,
I lunged toward Veronica. I grabbed her by the hair and handed down his horse quarter in my gap. Every regular piles of useless junk that she thinks is valuable. All the other piles is so congested that we have to climb over heaps of garbage and inconveniently
let's unravel this symbol for the tension in the air.
bedroom.
Every glance ignites a fire, a secret we both share. Your vibe's electric, time's ticking. Make a decision. Baby, use your body.
I just made myself some grilled chicken to go on a salad. I'm gonna sit here and eat this, still listening to chapter 5 of Julia Fox's memoir, and then after that I'm gonna start building the Lego set for Wicked. 18 minutes and 32 seconds in, so that's a good almost 20-minute mark, and we've been crushing it. Okay, I'm gonna try and see if I can press play at the same time, and go.
Her favorite. At heart, she was. We're spending the afternoon monitoring the Metropolitan Police Attorney. You bitches fuck with the wrong one. At the police station, I managed to reach into my bra, pull out 2 Vicodins and half a Xanax bar. Blunt. 32 things. Marijuana.
Okay guys, we're almost 40 minutes in. It's 39:33. Julia Fox is getting a little weird. I feel like I had to stop reading this book when I was on the cruise because she was giving me heart palpitations when she was dealing with the first drug dealer. It's crazy that I have to say the first one because there's multiple. when she was dealing with Ace. And then the other day when I was listening to this, I started having heart palpitations. Just because, I don't know. It's like reading a thriller almost, because her life is so insane. So we're at chapter 6, Mastermind, and she's getting pretty vulgar about her dominatrix abilities. I have no idea, like, guys, without context, this book just sounds insane. And I just think that's a lot to listen to when I want to make a Lego set and be normal. So I'm gonna actually switch it to a series of unfortunate events with the Baudelaire children. I'm about 36% through that one, so I'm gonna play the rest of that. They just made Puttanesca for Count Olaf, and he finally like showed his true colors, that he's a demon and that he just wants the, oh sorry, if you don't know a series of unfortunate events, I don't want to spoil it, but I feel like with the movie and TV show, you kind of know that Count Olaf sucks, but I'll keep that secretive. So anyway, I'm updating my story graph to say that I'm 52% of the way through Julia Fox's Down the Drain, and I'm currently 36% through a series of unfortunate events. I'm gonna play it to the end, I guess, and I'm gonna start building this Lego set.
Unless you have been very, very lucky.
Officially 1 hour and 16 minutes in. I just paused. We're on chapter 4 of a series of unfortunate events. Klaus, like, I get it because they're kids, but Klaus just like revealing his hand to Count Olaf really upset me, but it's fine. I just built half or 1/4 of the chest, but this is the half that is Elphaba's room. So her little bed and her desk, her little green bottle. Then I have Elphaba here and her wand. And then this is the part of the case that has the G for Galinda. And the box only shows it opened, and I wanted to show it to you closed because Nat, who's on my team, also built it. So I know what it looks like closed, and you can like buckle it shut and unlock it. But yeah, we're doing great. This is really fun, really mindless. I think I'm gonna go get a second helping of salad, and then I'll hop back into making this. I kind of want to take like a midday nap, which as an adult, I feel like you're not supposed to take naps anymore, but I fucking love naps, guys, or at least just like brain breaks. But yeah, just sitting here and building this Lego set has been a lot of fun. So I'm gonna get more late lunch dinner. It's low key. It's 4:13, so maybe some late lunch dinner, more salad. I have this ramen that I bought from the farmer's market that happens on the lot, and I'm debating if I should have it today or tomorrow. Like tonight for dinner or tomorrow for lunch. I don't know, but I'm gonna go eat more salad now. But yeah, I wanted to give an update. We're 1 hour and 16 minutes in, as I said before. When it comes to a series of unfortunate events, we are 61% through the audiobook. And when it comes to Down the Drain by Julia Fox, we were 52% through. And I would have kept reading it, but she was getting a little too graphic for me, girl. I could not do it. Sorry, guys. My ADHD brain can't handle this. So we're gonna go back to reading. And yeah, here's Elphaba with a book and a wand. She's so cute. Don't look at my face, look at her. She's so cute. I've been talking. Okay. Her hair is really falling off. What the heck? I don't think it's supposed to fall off this much. I'm gonna start the timer again and we're gonna go back to reading. Listening. Also, I just want to PSA, if you don't consider listening to audiobooks reading, I would love you to check your ableism at the door. Everything I Know About Love by Dolly Alderton. That was a book that was on my reading list last year. I know Sierra was reading it last year too, so I think I'm gonna start that instead.
HarperCollins and Harper Audio present Everything I Know About Love, a memoir by Dolly Alderton. When I was single woman in love, no moment in my life will ever be as romantic as when me and Dom thought my two abreast of no thumbs.
Say to the world I'd die if we were falling apart.
She loves order, I only like towards mess.
Going to work, smiling as we're falling apart.
For years on end, all I did was sit on walls with
You lie to your friends as fine as you're falling apart. Soon giving in this time, 'cause it's falling apart. Love didn't find your heart. Lies didn't count at all. Love didn't find your heart. Silence didn't count, it tear us apart.
Okay, everyone, so I just stopped the timer. I have it for 4:48. 4:48, we are almost 5 hours into this reading vlog. I will say that I just marked Dolly Alderton's Everything I Know About Love on Storygraph. I paused it. We were on chapter 15 and we're 30% of the way through, so I just marked this and I stopped. Now I'm gonna start reading My Hero Academia. This is volume 11, and volume 11 has to do with Camino Ward. That's the story arc we're on. I don't want to give too much away about this series in case people want to read it, but I think the biggest things to know is that everyone in the society is born with a quirk. Quirk is another word for superpower or super ability or mutation even. So it's kind of like X-Men, it's kind of like Invincible, it's kind of like The Boys, and it's like a realistic depiction of how society would be if everyone had superpowers. So I'm gonna read this. I already know what happens in it because I'm fully caught up on the show, but I want to be caught up on the manga. This is the art. Kohei Horikoshi. I admire your artistry so much. I was talking to Olivia today because she has a Monkey D. Luffy tattoo for One Piece, and if I was going to get any anime tattoos, I'd get the kanji for fly for Haikyuu, like the cross snow fly flag that they have. I'd get a tattoo of canary for Hunter x Hunter, and I'd get some type of My Hero Academia tattoo. I don't know of what in My Hero Academia, but some type of My Hero Academia tattoo for sure. So yeah, I'm gonna start the timer again and just chill here and read. I just took a break to eat a baked potato. It is 9:28 and my sleep alarm is on. We are looking at my timer, 5 hours and 28 minutes in. I feel like it's much later. I did take a break to eat a baked potato, as I just said. So I was reading My Hero Academia Volume 11. We are reading journal. We are 69% of the way through. I've read 144 pages out of the 208. I'm gonna go back into it now, and I'm pretty sure I'm about to finish this, honestly. I really only took a break to eat. Okay guys, just finished. It's 5 hours 51 minutes and I just finished My Hero Academia Volume 11, so I'm going to mark this off. Okay, so that's officially 2 books finished so far, A Series of Unfortunate Events and My Hero Academia Volume 11, which are on the shorter sides of books that I'm reading. I am about 52% through Down the Drain by Julia Fox. The only reason I stopped is because it was her talking about being a dominatrix and I just needed a break mentally for a second. And I am 30% through Dolly Alderton's Everything I Know About Love. So I think tomorrow morning I'm going to finish wow, I can't say that. Tomorrow morning I'm gonna finish Dolly Alderton's Everything I Know About Love while I'm cleaning my room and separating my laundry. So I think Old Enough by Haley Jacobson. This has been on my TBR for so long, but I also have like other books I want to read. And I think the only reason I was like trying to read maybe like a novel love story or something is because it's Valentine's Day. But I think the reason I even bought this book is because Haley Jacobson, I actually have no idea how old she is. I kind of assumed we were kind of the same age. She did a video where her friends and her did the social media marketing for this book, and it was them on the train with the book covers, and I was like, I need to do that if I ever publish my book, graphic novel, whatever. But I've always wanted to read it, and so I'm like, do I start it now? Do I wait till the morning? We're at hour 6 of 24, and so it's like still 20 hours tomorrow. So I'm like, what is the time? What is the time that I stop today to continue on tomorrow, right? Like, do I do like 10 today, 10 tomorrow? That's 20. It would be like 10 today, 14 tomorrow then. But I don't know. I'm not getting like tired of reading yet, but I also haven't been like reading. I think that's a good like thing to say too, because I know people are gonna be like, you didn't read any bigger books, which I think was a good way to start it, like starting off on the smaller books. Okay, I think I'm actually gonna read Old Enough, which is really interesting because I definitely have been trying to read this for like a year. So let's do it. I'm gonna start the timer. A note before reading. This is a work of fiction that navigates the messy, painful complexities of long-standing trauma. To my fellow survivors, as well as anyone who carries a tender heart, I ask that you go forth gently with great care. As you hold this book, may it hold you too. An update. It's midnight. We're on hour 7 hours 11 minutes 17 seconds of the reading challenge. I just made it to page 80 of Old Enough. I think I'm reading this book at a really good time. I read the warning acknowledgement in the beginning that kind of gave a little author's note about being tender with yourself with this book, because something that's a heavily discussed topic in this is someone who's like processing sexual assault that happened to them, which is, it's done very beautifully so far, like from what I've read, but I think it's really interesting. I feel like, unfortunately, that is a topic that is in a lot of reading or content surrounding young women. And it's like, I don't always want to read a book that has like women who've been assaulted. I don't always want to read a book about Black people experiencing racism, because that's the reality I live every day. But it's done so well, and I feel like there was so much care put into it. And this is someone's debut novel, this is someone's debut novel, so I want to take the time to appreciate it for what it is. And yeah, I took the dust jacket off, so it just looks like this right now, but I really love this book. We're on page 80, and I think we're gonna stop for the night, and we'll pick up in the morning. So 7 hours out of 24. I think we have like 17 left, which, you know, maybe I wanted to hit like maybe 11 today, but it's fine. I think we're honestly crushing it, because I don't feel like exhausted from books. I feel like when people really push themselves to read, that's when this becomes a chore. And I feel pretty good right now. And I started reading at like 3 p.m. and it's midnight. And I know you're probably going to be like, if you actually do how much time that is from there, it's probably longer. But I waited to start. I made food. I did other stuff, but I think we're in a good spot, everyone. So we're going to sleep, but just as a little time check, the next time you'll see me, it'll be the morning, and this is where we are.
Run out of sight. If you had met your husband when you were 22, I would have found it really, really hard. King kills. Good morning, I said back to the flat, meekly nodding at Frankie's French flatmate as I went. Guess who they uploaded the trip to? I couldn't afford a sandwich, let alone an early flight home. And I don't think I even wanted to go home. I was trapped between two cities I didn't want to be in.
this morning and started listening to Everything I Know About Love by Dolly Alderton again. I am at the 9 hour 11-minute mark. It's a little later in the day, so we're having a bit of a late brunch, but I am excited. So I have waffles, bacon, and then I have some grapes. So I'm just gonna continue listening to it. I think we're gonna be done by today, honestly. I think I'm gonna finish this book today. It's a really good memoir. I've always said I wanted to continue to read more memoirs, but also what's really interesting about this story is it's all of her life experiences put into these like pocket stories, and basically her friend Farley's sister, her friend Farley's sister Florence just passed away from cancer, and just like seeing how they all kind of dealt with that was really interesting. I think something that's really hard is when like death of siblings comes into books, like it does make me more emotional. So like I paused for a second to like collect myself, but I really like this book. It's really interesting. I didn't realize, I still don't really know who Dolly Alderton is, but I looked her up, and yeah, this was a really impressive book for her to release in 2018. Okay guys, we are at the 10-hour, 52-minute mark. We're almost at 11 hours in. I stopped listening to Dolly Alderton's Everything I Know About Love, and I started The Reptile Room, which is book 2 of a series of unfortunate events. I just paused it, and now I am 26% of the way through. I want to do laundry today, so I'm going to probably put on headphones and keep listening, and I think that's boring to film, so you'll get an update whenever I come back to sitting down. I just paused. I'm in hour 13, 42 minutes, and I just finished the Lego set. I locked it so it's going to stay closed when I move it around, but this is the case closed. There's a flower, there's the green bottle, and then I just put Glinda and Alphabet at the top. All the spare Lego pieces we had, I just threw in here, and then the key to open it is also in here. So I have to figure out where I'm going to display this. But yay, I did it!
She's the type who will get what she wants, doesn't hide. Always out in the sun, and it kills me slowly. Seeing her pass me by in the city of dreams. Wish that
So I'm home. The last clip you saw was me in a coffee shop. I got my hair retwisted today and then I went to a coffee shop to read. We're almost done finally with this reading challenge, and I want to say it's taken multiple days. And in the beginning I was like kind of keeping track, like, oh, it's a Saturday, oh, it's a Tuesday, just to tell you. But honestly, with the power of editing, you'd never know that this was multiple days if I didn't tell you and I didn't change my outfits. But we are currently at hour 22, minute 39, second 52, millisecond 54. And basically I've been spending my time recently listening to Frankie's, ooh, it's a two title, give me a second. The House of My Mother, A Daughter's Quest for Freedom by Frankie. She is one of the she is the oldest daughter of Ruby Frankie from 8 Passengers. And what's really interesting is, like, I'm someone who doesn't watch family vlog channels like that. Like, when the Ace family first came up, I was like, that's kind of weird that you like are just making content off of your kids. And like then it came like the LeBrant family. There's a bunch of families on the internet, and I do understand that some people are really into that, and that's no judgment at all. But for me, I kind of thought it was weird. And then 8 Passengers specifically, people kind of, I remember a little bit about this because I used to watch like drama channels like Spill Sesh or something, and 8 Passengers specifically got a lot of flack during the pandemic and a little bit after, because in a video Ruby had openly admitted that their son had been sleeping on a beanbag chair in their basement for 7 months as this like restrictive punishment. And I'm actually in the part of the book where Sherry talks about this. I actually just passed it, but what's interesting is that is the moment that like 8 Passengers like kind of left the popularity of YouTube and became one of those canceled parents. And it's really interesting because obviously people wanted to hear the children speak out, but the oldest, literally Sherry is the oldest, and she literally was in college, and then when her mom was like arrested, and that's not a spoiler, that's public knowledge, she was in college when her mom was arrested. Now so now she can finally speak up. And what's crazy is the trailer for their Hulu doc series literally came out right before this book. And so then this book came out, and then the show dropped like the second to last day of February or something. So everyone's talking about or like posting TikToks about the TV show, and other people are talking about the book. So I wanted to read Sherry's book first and then watch the TV show, because I am so curious about like the other perspectives, because her brother, who a lot of the torment, like, not, I don't want to say some of them got it worse, but her brother, who has the most public discipline or like public torment, he's in the dock. So I'm really curious what his perspective is, because they send him away to this like wilderness camp. They took his bed away. They grounded him when they were in Disney World. Like, they like very publicly punish and shame him. So I'm very, very curious what he has to say about this. So I just finished reading chapter 30, or listening to chapter 30, which is kind of an intense chapter because she's talking about this this unconsensual relationship that she's in. And like, you could kind of tell where it was going to go from the beginning, but it's finally gotten to that point, and you see like the toll that it's taking on her life, and it's just so unfortunate, and it's just really, really dark. And it's not funny. I'm like trying to like not cry, which is why I'm like fixing my face. But yeah, I can't listen to any more of that for my last 30 minutes. So for my last 30 minutes of this 24-hour reading challenge, we're gonna just change genres again. Because this kind of is what happened when I was reading Julia Fox's memoir, when it got to like, when Julia first like left home, well, when she first left Italy and like went to Ace, and like the abuse that was happening there, I had to stop for a second because I was like, this is so intense right now. And I feel like I'm like an involved reader, so like I can feel the intensity sometimes when I'm reading, and like my anxiety spikes. So that's kind of happening right now is what I'm trying to say. So I'm gonna take a break from this. This is a very beautiful story. It's so important, and I'm so glad that Sherry's being able to share this. And it's so unfortunate that this happened to her in college when she finally had the freedom from her mother, like that she was put under another oppressive force. And unfortunately, that is something that happens too often with young girls early into college when they're getting manipulated by these older men who have their best interest in heart. And obviously, he saw a victim of abuse, and yeah, he saw a victim of abuse and decided to manipulate and prey upon her because he realized that she didn't have anyone. So that's where we are. I'm gonna leave it there for now. I know it's gonna get better, but I need to just take a break. Like that's a lot of on your mental. So I have 2 books in my book sleeve. I have Heartless, which is Pretty Little Liars book number 7, which has had this little leaf bookmark in it since last year. And then I also have Carrie Soto is Back, which I haven't started. So I think for my last 30 minutes of this 24-hour reading challenge, I'm gonna start reading Heartless again. I'm literally only 12 to 13 pages in. That's so crazy because I want to finish these books this year. So I'm gonna do that, and I'm literally gonna forget about the timer when I read this. So I'm gonna put it behind me in view.
Sense of belief, I just cry at my pity party, and I'm getting nowhere while she comes first. How can I get some confidence when my mind never wants to be friends? It just keeps.
Okay, guys. I was in the middle of reading. I just got to page 56 and the 24-hour mark has happened. Yay! I want to keep reading it, but Hannah's dad still sucks. I 100% believe that Kate is trying to get rid of her. And I'm back in. It took me a minute, like truly it took me like 1 minute and I'm fully back in. The first synopsis, or like the pre-chapter before chapter 1, I was sitting there like, did I miss something in the last book? But no, they just jump right into the action. So transparently speaking, this reading challenge did take a couple days, and so when I do my reading wrap up, which is going to come out after this, every book that I read in this video, I read for the month of February. So in my reading wrap up, I'm going to go into more detail about my opinions, but I'm going to give you some first opinions right now. So the first book that I finished in this reading challenge was A Series of Unfortunate Events by Lemony Snicket, which is the pen name of Daniel Handler. And A Series of Unfortunate Events is a book series created by Daniel Handler to talk about the Baudelaire children and just a lot of bad situations that happen to them as they grow up because they became orphans, and then there's this count that's trying to steal their estate, and he goes through these nefarious plots to to first get their money and then kill them, unfortunately. So there's a movie that came out called A Series of Unfortunate Events, and then a Netflix series that came out afterwards. And the Netflix series has Neil Patrick Harris playing Count Olaf, and the guy that's Kronk as Lemony Snicket. I can never remember his name. He's just Kronk in my head. So with that being said, all of the voice actors from the Netflix TV show did do the voice acting for the first audiobook. Kind of how last year when I talked in, I want to say it's in my like September, October, November wrap up about the Princess Diaries, that Anne Hathaway did the audiobook for the first one. So the first one has all these other voices and it's like a whole production. Honestly, it's like watching the Netflix series, and I'm gonna be honest, I don't think I ever finished the Netflix series So I think I got to book 5 or episode 5, which is book 5. So there's that. Second book that I finished, which was a manga, is My Hero Academia Volume 11. I mentioned My Hero Academia a lot on this channel, so if this is the first video you're watching, My Hero Academia is a manga that follows Izuku Midoriya, who is our main character that was born in a world of superpowers without a superpower. In this world, they call them quirks. He has a mentor named All Might that is like a Superman-like figure in society, and basically he was born without powers. He meets All Might. All Might tells him he can't be a hero without powers, but then he sees Izuku still trying to save people and help people without powers. And then he's like, you inspired me. I think you can be a hero, but I want you to be a hero with my powers. And then that's how we start. And then of course, like, where do heroes go and train? And this is My Hero Academia. It's his hero schooling and just his story of becoming a superhero. And so this is volume 11. Volume 11 is someone was just kidnapped, and we see the kidnapper, and this is that person being rescued and the aftermath of that. That's all I'm gonna say. Literally me trying to figure out what I'm saying, but that's all I'm gonna say about that. And then my third book that I read in this video was Old Enough by Haley Jacobson. I remember so vividly, the reason I wanted to read this book is because I saw her promotion. Haley Jacobson on a train in New York. It's just her and her queer friends reading her book in the subway, and it's like these really cool photos and videos of just everyone sitting there reading the book. And it was just, I don't know, when I finally one day make my manga or graphic novel or write a book, I'm gonna do that exact promotion for it, and I will literally credit Haley Jacobson in the comment or in the caption or whatever. But it was just, I loved her shot of it so much. That was the third book that I read. It's been on my reading list since I purchased it in 2023, I think, or 2024. Like, I've been trying to read this book and I loved it. I don't love the cover. Here, this is what I wrote, but anyway, this is the book. I don't love the cover as much, what's so funny is the paperback that came out later has a Shirley Temple on it, and if you read the book, you know that's like her thing. What's so annoying is Shirley Temples are also my thing, and I would have loved the green cover with the Shirley Temple on it. It's so cute, and there's nothing wrong with this photo. I just think the Shirley Temple is the cuter cover, unfortunately. And then the fourth book that I read and finished in this video was Everything I Know About Love by Dolly Alderton. And it's a memoir where she kind of recounts her life and talks about the love and relationships that she's had. And honestly, it's kind of the moral of the story is like, at the end of the day, it's about the love that you have with the people around you and not about relationships. Like, that's really what I feel like the overarching theme of the book is, which it's so simple, but in a weird way, it was kind of validating as someone who is not interested in dating and in relationships right now. And I feel like a lot of the times everyone's in a relationship or everyone's asking you if you're in a relationship, and like, when are you gonna get in a relationship? Everyone's like getting serious and getting married soon. And it's like, I'm so validated and full from the love that I have from my friendships that I don't really feel the need for a partner. And I think it was just an interesting book that validated like, hey, everyone moves at their own pace. You don't have to be in a relationship. If you get that love and you get that joy from your friends, that's fine. Then book 5 that I read was My Hero Academia Volume 12, which after the person got rescued from the kidnapping, we are now in the provisional licensing exam where the first year class is taking an exam to become provisionally licensed heroes. So they're not fully licensed heroes, but in a state of emergency, they can use their quirks in public to help people. So the entire volume is the test. Well, actually, part of the test. This volume was the first part of the test, and I guess volume 13 is going to be the second half of the test where they're going to fight a fake big bad, which is Gang Orca. Oh my god, is this when we meet Gang Orca? And the last book that I finished in this reading challenge is A Series of Unfortunate Events, Book 2, The Reptile Room. The Baudelaire orphans, who have now escaped Count Olaf, were put with their Uncle Monty, Dr. Montgomery, and he is I can't say it. It's like the Herpetological Society, but he's a herpetologist. He's a herpetologist, which means that he studies snakes and venom and other reptiles. He has a reptile room. That's the name of the book. And basically, from the beginning, they tell you that this is not going to be a happy story and that someone dies. You can infer who it is. Basically, Count Olaf, who I mentioned in the first one, he will not let these children go because he wants their inheritance. So he has concocted a scheme to basically insert himself into Dr. Montgomery's life. So he has a way to kidnap the Baudelaire children. And it's really, it's interesting because they're so young that I kind of forget the naivete of like revealing your hand too early. Because they're like, we know who you are, and we're going to tell. And it's like, hey, instead of saying that, why not just tell? Like, you don't have to let him know that you know that it's him. Like, unfortunately, that's what they do a lot. Like, in the first book, Klaus was so quick to tell Count Olaf, like, I know your plan, and it's this, and I'm going to stop you. And he's like, oh, yeah? Try me. Like, why would you not just, like, I mean, it's gonna make me upset. It's gonna make me upset. But anyway, these are books that I think a lot of people read as children. I've never read them, so I had a lot of interest in reading them, so I'm really excited to keep reading them. Other books that I've been reading in this video but did not finish would be Heartless by Sarah Shepard, Pretty Little Liars Book 7. I also was reading Down the Drain by Julia Fox, and The House of My Mother, A Daughter's Quest for Freedom by Sherry Frankie, about Ruby Frankie and the 8 Passengers YouTube channel. So those 3 books I haven't finished yet, and I think I'm going to finish them in the month of March. But if we include that, you saw me read 6, 7, 8, 9, like 9 different books in this video. I was listening to audiobooks, and I did my Lego set, I did stuff in my reading journal. Sometimes I just laid here. You saw me do my reading process, and I would say that maybe I'm slower than some people when it comes to reading, or maybe I stop myself ahead of time. I'm not someone who kind of forces myself to continue reading even when I'm tired, because that's how you get burnt out. Comment down below the open book emoji if you've made it this far, and let me know what book you think I should read next, or what reading challenge you think I should do next. Bye!